The brutal murder of 14-year-old Reena Virk in 1997 at the hands of her friends shocked a small community within British Columbia, Canada. Growing up as a minority in a majority white community, the story of Reena Virk is just one of the many that deserves to be told time and time again. Reena Virk was born on March 10, 1983 and experienced an anguished childhood in Sarnik, British Columbia. Her parents Manjit and Suman Virk raised their daughter and the family as a Jehovah's Witness, the faith adopted by her mother's family. In following her religious customs, Reena didn't celebrate birthdays or Christmas. And yet here we have a picture of a smiling Reena, young and happy, standing in front of a birthday cake with her father and what seems like was clearly a celebration. But hey, Western media, eh? Let's just trust them. Anyway, Reena struggled to connect with other kids and was also frequently bullied by them. She tried to run away, but other kids would just put gum in her hair and criticize her weight. Just like any 14-year-old, Reena was desperate to make friends. She soon met a bunch of smoking teenagers in a park. Among them was a charismatic girl known as Josephine Bell, who idolized gangsters and mobsters like John Gotti, boasted of stealing cars, and dreamed of becoming the first ever female hitman. Her best friend was a girl named Kelly Elliott. She admired their confidence, and Reena's behavior grew more unsettling after meeting her new group of friends. She even falsely reported to child welfare authorities that her father Manjit had sexually molested her. Her parents believed that friends had convinced her to do so by making claims that foster care would bring her a better life. Reena eventually dropped her charges and returned home after living with her grandparents and under care of the province for a short period of time. The struggling teen also drew the ire of a new social group. She acquired Bell's journal out of jealousy and used it to contact several boys. She told them discriminating and disparaging things about Belle, saying that her eyebrows were fake and that she had contracted AIDS. Enraged, Belle began planning an attack on Reena with Elliot and a few other friends. This is where the horror begins. On November 14, 1997, the teenagers laid work under the Craigflower Bridge near the Shoreline School in Seneca. Belle put out a lit cigarette on Reena's forehead, starting a massive brawl that included Elliot, who punched Virk with a closed fist. A group of other girls and a boy named Warren Glowatsky were also some people who abused her. The beating stopped minutes later. Stunned onlookers didn't offer to help Reena, who lay bloodied and crying in the mud, then began staggering across the bridge to get home. They also didn't realize that Aled and Glowatsky followed her and moments later began beating Reena, thrashing her head against a tree. Aled later would admit that she had dragged the girl's unconscious body into a waterway. Investigators found Reena's body via helicopter just over a week later on November 22nd. A coroner determined forcible drowning as the official cause of her death. Both Alert and Glowatsky denied holding Reena's head in the water. Police ultimately arrested 8 teenagers. 6, including Bell, were convicted of aggravated assault for the first attack. They received sentences ranging from 60-day conditional sentences up to 1 year in juvenile detention center. Bell, who after legally reaching adulthood in 2011 in an interview, used a real name Nicole Cook and suggested that a sentence of up to a year for the first offense of just hitting was too harsh. Glowatsky 16 and Alert 15 would be charged as adults because of the severity of their crime. Both were ultimately convicted of second-degree murder in 1999 and 2000 respectively. Alert remained defiant for years following the murder and exhibited problematic behavior while in prison. However, she did complete multiple correctional programs and in 2017 was granted day parole. This enabled her to participate in public activities during daytime hours, such as working and studying, before returning to prison or a halfway house at night. Alert, now 41, legally changed her name to Carrie Marie Sim and began a relationship with a man named Dorwin Dorozan, a former prison pen pal. The couple had 2 children and got married, but are no longer together. Surprise, surprise. Elliot was later granted overnight leave in August 2019 and was able to rent a home. Her day parole was extended as recently as 2023, with the stipulation that she must undergo psychiatric treatment to address anxiety and mental health issues. She isn't allowed to have contacts with her ex spouse without supervision or written consent from her parole officer. While imprisoned following his 1999 conviction, Glowatsky formed an unlikely relationship with Reena's parents. According to the CBC, Glowatsky visited Suman and Manjit multiple times and became remorseful for his role in her murder. In Reena's murder, I feel ashamed. I wish I could crawl under a rock, he said at a parole hearing in 2007. Glowatsky took rehabilitation courses in prison and became a speaker, mentoring at risk youth about the dangers of crime. He also participated in a restorative justice program with Sunam and Manjit, personally apologizing for his actions. When Glowatsky was freed in 2007, Suman Virk spoke of the importance of forgiving him. He was an angry, scared little kid who was trying to prove something in a negative way. Today, I think we see a young man who has taken responsibility for his actions and is trying to amend the wrong that he had done. Suman Virk's message of forgiveness was repeated across Canada after her death at the age of 58. Reports say she died after choking in a restaurant. Suman and Manjit Virk had also shared that Glowatsky is the only one out of the six who actually came forward to apologize and hold accountability for his actions. They did continue speaking about Reena and raising awareness about youth violence, and they do believe in forgiveness. There is a popular show and a book that's written by Reena Virk, but about Reena Virk, but I would rather focus on Manjit Virk, who actually wrote a book about Reena. It's called Reena, A Father's Story. I think if there's anything anybody should be buying and reading, it's his book. So I am going to leave the link below in the description box. Of course, I'm not sponsored. I don't have any money coming out of this sale. If you guys do decide to get it, that is. But I do think that this is the little way in which we can show support for the violence against minority that happens in countries, be it Canada or America or whatever else. And I really want to continue spreading awareness about this. And rest in peace, Reena.